Hi everyone, it's Heather, the expat entrepreneur, coming to you with the third session of this five-part mini-series on how to invest in crypto for beginners. And today, what our topic is going to be about, we're going to talk a little bit more about my favorite strategy for investing in crypto, which is grid bot trading. And I'll explain a little bit more about the actual grid and how it works so that you can really understand it firsthand. And I do want to start by saying that and just reminding you that I'm not a licensed professional. I'm not licensed to give advice on investing or finances or taxes or anything for that matter. So I really think it's important for you to know, everybody has to do their own research. And if you're thinking about getting involved in crypto, investing in crypto or anything for that matter, you need to take it upon yourself to research it further and find out really everything there is to know about it so that you can make an informed decision and decide if you want to move forward with it. This is something for each one of us. The onus is on us to do that. So please know that nothing that I'm saying here is intended to be investment advice on any level. It's just examples of information that I know from my experience and what I've done. And my hope is that I can help other people who are in the same position that I was in when I was a complete beginner and I knew nothing about crypto at all. And it was just a completely confusing topic to me. So because this truly is, I believe, it's definitely the opportunity of a lifetime to get involved in investing in some even small form in cryptocurrencies, because they are still considered to be in their infancy. People who are just starting today to get to invest in crypto, you're considered an early adopter even now. That's how ground floor this is. So if you were wondering if the ship has sailed, is it too late to get involved? Is it too late to start? The answer is no, not by a long shot. The conservative estimates are probably a couple more decades of amazing growth that we've not even ever seen in our traditional markets. That's how what the trajectory is intended to be. And so getting a little foothold into crypto now, today, will be something that will prove to be, I think, a really smart decision for all of us down the road when we look back and go, wow, imagine if I still knew nothing, 5 years from now about crypto, and what a difference it could make in your life, because it's something that honestly we stand to potentially make a lot of money from, given where it's anticipated to go. And this is all the more reason why it's so important for you to learn how to do it on your own and not be looking to hand your money over to somebody else to invest for you, because that's a fast path to losing your investment capital. I think I've said in earlier sessions, in the cryptocurrency world, it's unregulated. It's called decentralized, and that means it's not regulated. It's not governed or controlled by anybody or anything. And this is a double-edged sword, right? It's great on the one hand because it's free and open for everybody and it can't be manipulated, and it's truly the actual true representation of what the honest real market value is what we're seeing, because it can't be falsely inflated or deflated. On the other hand, you have nobody to go to if things go sideways, if somebody scams you, if you're told something and it winds up being different, if you want to make a complaint to somebody, there's nobody. You're on your own. This is the pull up the big boy pants and carry on scenario. So know that getting in that you're in the right place, in my humble opinion, and you're also doing the right thing by taking this on yourself to learn and educate yourself. And you can learn the skill of a lifetime that will continue to make money for you for decades to come. So on that note, I do want to go ahead and start talking a little bit more about the actual strategy that I was lightly touching on in the last video, which is, like I say, my favorite. It is bot investing, cryptocurrency bot trading. And what it is in a nutshell, it's there's a system you can use and a platform you can use to profit from the daily volatility of the cryptocurrency market. And you do this using AI, using artificial intelligence, using bots, which is short for robot, right? It's an automation is what it's called. And that's basically just computer code. That's all it is. It's just a little computer code, just like we've got on our smartphones. We've got apps. Think of a bot as like that. It could be considered an app, which it isn't. It's probably not a good analogy, but it's just a singular bit of computer code that is already created. You throw your settings on top of that, meaning you tell it what to do. It already knows what to do. It just needs to know, what time do I leave? What do I need to take with me? What happens if the weather changes? It's got a couple of questions that you've got to fill in the blanks for, and then you hit go and off it goes. And I often talk about this as like it's your AI army going out there and making all this bot profit for you. Because what's great about it is once you set it up, if you've got the settings right, you can walk away and you'll just be getting bot profits spinning off of this thing, continuing to come into your account day after day. And this happens. It's not unusual. The thing is, how do you know what to set it? How do you know what the settings should be? How do you know how to program these bots? And let me just share my screen for a second. I want to take you into my account with the software platform that I use, and it's called Bitsgap. And this is a demo bot that I've got up here on the screen. And I've got other bots going down here too. And I'm going to take you in and show you over here on the other side. There's a screen that's called the trading screen, just to give you an idea of what this program actually looks like and all the different bells and whistles, the things that you need to control and figure out, and all the settings. I don't even know honestly what some of this stuff does. I know what I need to do because I've taken a program, I've learned, I've taken the training, and I've figured out what I've got to do. But this is not a software program here that I want to step into blind and teach myself, right? And admittedly, these guys, they've got their own whole slew of tutorial videos that are available for you to watch if you want to. There's lots of people on YouTube and different places who are trying to teach these kind of things. The most important thing to think about as far as that goes is, who are you getting this information from? You got to consider the source, right? That's the tough part. And unless you know for sure that the instruction and the what you're learning is right and the best, how do we know if you couldn't have done better on your own? So, so this is something that you need to be aware of. There are some training programs out there, and I'm going to tell you about one of them in a couple of minutes. But first of all, I want to show you a little bit more about the actual strategy of the bot investing, the bot trading. And I'll go back and I'll share my screen in a second. But before I do, because I don't want you to get distracted yet, I just want to remind you from what I said in the last video. When you are trading a crypto grid bot, what you're doing is you're setting up parameters, right? You've got a grid that you are going to, inside of this grid is where your bot is going to live. And you're setting up the settings for it ahead of time. And then as long as the price of that coin stays within this range, you're good. This range is the profit zone. Inside of these grid lines is the profit zone. If the price drops out of the profit zone, below the grid, out of range, it's called, then your profits are temporarily put on hold. You're just sitting back on the bench waiting to get called back in and play the final round and shoot the final winning goal or basket or whatever it may be. But you want to know that this is the place where you want to be playing, is inside of those grid lines. And so let me share my screen again, and I'll show you this one bot that I had up because it's a real good example, this one here. And I'm just going to make a couple of adjustments. I had it actually set up before, but unfortunately it decided to change on me. But so this one is a real good example because you can see with the red line and the green lines, Inside of those lines, that's what's called your grid. And I actually, this particular bot has been on for a little while. And what's really good is to be able to see is when it did go out of range. So you've got the red circles and the green circles, and you can see right here where that red circle is, that's when I started this bot. That was when the first automatic buy, I guess it was a sell because it's red, went and happened. And what happens here is every time you see a red circle, that's a sell. And the bot is programmed so that it will only sell for a profit. It will never, ever, ever sell for a loss. Only you can do that. And we obviously don't recommend that. But the green dot circles that you see are a buy. So what happens is the automation within the bot, it already knows if the price gets to this, then you need to do that. So if the price goes up, it's going to sell a little bit. If the price goes down, it's going to buy a little bit, and it's going to dollar cost average its way through the entire roller coaster of the wave of volatility based on what's happening with the price. And you can see that represented really clearly here. And what happened here where the circle stopped, that is a perfect example of the price of this coin, and I'll explain that in a second, went down. The price went lower than, and it went outside of our grid. And so, like I said before, those bot profits stop, they go on hold as soon as the price goes down. And then guess what? As soon as the price goes back up again, the bot gets going again, you get your profits coming back in and you're back in business. And then in this case, it went down again a little bit, didn't it? And then it came up and now we're back up nice, right, kind of right in the middle of the grid, and it's just going great and it's wiggling along. And in this case, with this particular bot, I can tell you the stats on it. It's been going for 27 days. And over that time, it's done an average of 0.36% return every day. So let me grab my calculator, and I could do this on the screen, but I'm quicker with the handheld one. You just got to trust me and pushing the right buttons, because I know with this bot, I started it with $3,000. So if I have $3,000 in this bot, and if it's making 0.36% per day, that amounts to $10 per day. Doesn't sound like much, but I'll tell you what, this adds up big time. And usually what we end up seeing is higher amounts than the 0.36. But the other interesting thing is that's per day, right? So if we took it out over the course of a year, that's $4,000 basically. That's $3,942 for what? That's basically, I mean, you've already doubled your money because you have 3,000 in. So inside on this particular bot, and that's a very conservative number as an example for what we can see that these would normally do. And this was happening, by the way, while the market was way down. I know from the time frame and when I put this on, the market has only just now started coming back up again. So that means that with the volatility being less, the percentage is probably lower than it normally would be in a normal case. And I can say that recently, I'm not sure when you're going to be watching this series of videos, but to give you an idea, there has been a drop in the market, a significant drop in the market right now, and it's been going for 2 months. It's a long time. It's very steep and very sharp and long. And what we've seen is we're outside of the grid. From almost everybody that I know, and almost every bot they have was out of range, mine included, or in and out of range, and just not making very much profit. And as I mentioned in the last video, we have to be prepared for that, because it is going to happen. What we see right here with this particular bot, where it's down here and there's no circles because it's lower, it's gone down out of the range, it's going to happen multiple times from when you own this bot. We just know we have to be prepared for it. This particular time, it's just been a lot longer than anybody expected. And it's not normal. Like, they're usually shorter. They're usually within 10 days and you're back up in business again. But it is something we need to be prepared for. So what do? We basically just sit back and wait. And I'll just go back again and show you and look that as I waited here, and what was the time here? We're talking about a few days, aren't we? It looks like that was about maybe the 18th, and then come about 10 days. Isn't that interesting? It popped back up. It's back in range here for another couple of days, and then it popped down for a shorter period of time and went back up again. So that's how we can expect these bots to react. And there will be a certain percentage of time every year, every month, whatever, maybe not weekly, but certainly monthly, where it's going to be out of range, and your bot profits are just on hold for that period of time. And that's okay, because all the profits that we're getting, which I'll show you here again in the rundown of this one bot here, in this case, it was $292 over those 27 days. That money is already in my balance. It's over here in my balance, in my exchange, in my name, under my control. And it would be right in here, in this category is where it would be. Because the reason why is because the right side coin, the stable coin, is USDT. And this is the USDT right here. And this is what's available in my balance at the moment. Again, this is demo bots, so it's not real money, but that's where that money goes. The profit that I'm getting off of any of these bots will go straight into there for me to either take out, leave, or reinvest. The choice is mine, and which is wonderful. So what's great again is, even though all this profit is coming off, guess what? This bot keeps on working, doesn't it? Just like I was saying to you in the last video, we don't have to restart another, investment, another bot, or start things over again. This thing is going to keep on chugging until you close it down. And that's not something you can accidentally do. You have to take steps, and you have to actually physically close the bot. And there's reasons why you would, and there's reasons why you wouldn't. And that's something that you would figure out, hopefully, in any potential training that you might take, which is what I want to talk about next, is just to give you an idea of, the amount of time it would take for you to try and get yourself up to speed where you knew what you were doing, and you could go in there and even just operate that software platform, let alone know what to do. It's one thing to be able to, push the buttons and know this is going to happen and that's going to happen, but how do I know what information to put in there too, right? Like, it can be a lot. It can be really complicated. And something that I alluded to before, that I say all the time now is, I do not have time to waste and money to burn. I spent a couple of solid decades trying to figure stuff out on my own, trying to do it my way, or learn my way. And instead of taking the help, taking the assistance, learning from other people's mistakes, collapsing time and going quicker by learning the proven methods. And I'm not doing that anymore. I don't have that time, and I don't have that desire, quite frankly. I would rather just go and learn the right method, proven strategy, and be off to the races quicker. And that's what is available actually to you now. I took a training program that taught me how to do this grid bot training. And it's called The Plan by Dan Hollings. And this program is something that is only available and open to new members a few times a year. It's just the way they have it set up, where the intake of new people, it doesn't happen regularly. There's only short windows of time where they open the doors, and that's on purpose, and that is so that they can deliver the training in the best format that they possibly can. So for me, when I took it, the training was delivered weekly. Once a week, we got a live video from the creator, Dan Hollings, and he would teach us whatever was in that session, that segment. And what he's done recently, that was when the program was in beta, and that was last year. And now it is a fully fledged program that is available pretty much on, once you get in, when the doors open and you're able to join, all the training information is there and available for you. You don't have to wait weekly if you don't want to. You can just go ahead and dive right in. There's 6 sessions, and it will take roughly maybe 12 or 15 hours to go through all the training. We're talking about like a good solid weekend of time, right? really. And it's so, so worth it. When you think about, in the grand scheme of things, what you will be able to do with the knowledge you learn in that weekend, basically, of time, it's incredible. And the impact that it could have on your life and your financial well-being is amazing. I've personally never seen anything like this. And I've been involved in online business and the financial markets for 20 or 5 years, somewhere in there. I've seen a lot, and nothing even comes close to this in terms of ease and ability to get involved. A low amount of time that's required for you to maintain it, to monitor, and make sure that things are still, on track. And that gives you such a huge potential for earnings, for growth, for income, for profit, especially considering that it's passive. It doesn't require your hands-on. Like, a good comparison is day traders. Who sit in front of their computer hunched over all day long for 10, 12, 14, 16 hours, however many hours they can stand it, basically analyzing technical indicators, trying to read those lines and figure out this and that and pull all this information together and multiple screens going. Like, it's just, wow, that just sounds like the worst job in the world to me, quite frankly. But that's a hugely different thing, and they're pushing the button for every single trade, right? Whereas with this bot trading, the computer's doing it, the code, the automation is doing that for you. We've set all the parameters up, send it on its way, and it's off there performing all the orders that you gave it, which is beautiful. And I can just say that having gone through the training program myself and having put real money in the market, I have 10 bots going, and I've seen what can happen and what did happen. And I had 3 solid months of what I would call normal market conditions, where it was going up and down. I mean, it's a roller coaster, it's volatile, it sure is, but my bots were in range, and it was spitting out that bot profit. And over those 3 months, I averaged 30% return, you guys. Like, it's huge. And that was over 3 months. And what that equated to was about $150 a day, maybe $180 a day on some days. It just depended. And that's significant, right? And some of my bots were up, some of them were down, some of them were doing better or not wiggling at all. And that's the beauty of it. With a system like this, what you want to do is get a handful of them together, get a handful of them going, so that you can average things out, and so that you can enjoy the portfolio effect, where if one of your bots is down, one of your other ones is probably up, and the overall return you're getting over the whole is significantly better than an individual one. And let me just show you that as an expression here on the screen. When we look at here, the average daily percentage that you're getting, what it's telling us is that this one did 0.28, this one did 0.36, and it goes down. And let's just add those up really quickly. We've got 0 at the top because I literally just started that one. 0.28, 0.09, 0.36, and 0.28. And if we divide that by 4, that came to 1.01%. If we divide that by 4, it's 0.25%. Is the average return over all of them. So that's how it averages out, right? And this is a really good thing when you've got, especially real money on the table, and there's time, behind these bots. There's not much time in these particular ones, but getting it to be able to average out like that is a real benefit, because sooner or later your bot's going to be down. Sooner or later your bot is going to be out of range and not making profit, and it really just depends on for how long, right? So that's what's exciting about it. And with this program that I took, it is like I say, it's 6 sessions, And it's intended to be a weekly program, a 6-week program. But like I say, all of those sessions are available at once for you in a members area, once you're able to join, if you are. And what you can do, you can take the crash course. You can do it in a weekend. You can do it over 6 weeks. You can do it over whatever time frame you want. And what I recommend to people is that you would go through it once or twice, right? More than once for sure, because there's so much information in there. There's so much to learn that you'll miss a ton the first time through. I've personally been through the program probably 4 times at this point. And every time he'll do a new one, I'll rewatch it. Every time he does a training, I watch it. Because there's so much new information to get all the time that you've missed, especially when you're new like me. Because I think I've mentioned before that my whole point of doing this video series and putting this information out is to try and help the beginners, who are people that are just like I was when I first started. And I knew nothing about crypto and nothing about investing. And I was scared of making a mistake. I was afraid of what I didn't know. And I was really worried about, am I going to be able to handle the technology? How hard is it going to be to set up the exchange and to actually figure out a software program like that to work it? And how the heck am I going to know what to do, which ones to choose, right? So that's why I was so pleased when I came across the plan, because I knew right away when it was referred to me from somebody who was a credible person that I trusted 100%. I knew that this program, and I could see their results, and I could also see the results of hundreds of other students who were doing really well with it. I knew that it was legit. And it is legit. I can tell you that for sure. The only thing that the plan is a training program. You never invest your money with them. You never give your investment capital to them, whoever you want to think them are, or this software program that you use to manage it, Bitscap. You never put your money with them. Your money would always be in your exchange account that you open under your name and that would remain under your control at all times. I liked that. I like that a lot because, I mean, I'm busy. I don't have a whole bunch of time to be taking on a whole bunch of new stuff and projects and that kind of thing. But I sure like the idea of having more control over my finances and my retirement savings, because what I see happening in my bank account is not going to cut it. So something's got to change here, and if I can easily find the information that's delivered to me in a way that I can actually understand and utilize, I'm all in, especially if I don't have to go to, night school for 6 months, 3 nights a week, and all of that to figure out how to do this. It's a breeze. It's a breeze. So yeah. And just to explain a little bit further about the actual bot and how that works. Because I think I explained last time when I was showing you about the 2 coins, right? I mean, I know you can't see too much of me, but remember these 2 coins when I said, these are your coins that are inside your grid, and the one is stable and the one is the wiggler is kind of working off the other one. This is that representation of that happening here. So depending on what's going on with the price overall, and that's completely changing all the time. That's the volatility of it that makes this thing so great. That's the great side of the coin. And because it's so volatile and surging up and down constantly, that's why this works. There's no other market that this particular kind of a strategy, this specific automation of a bot would work on, because there's not enough activity. So it's great that this is here, and that we've got both components. You've got the platform that you can use as your control panel. That's what this is. It's a control panel. And you've got the actual exchange that enables us to put our money in play, I guess is the best way to phrase it. So that's what's exciting about it. And there might be other trainings out there. I'm sure there's loads of people probably on YouTube who are saying, hey, I'm a Bitscap expert, or I'm an expert in a different platform, or whatever the case may be. Let me help you, or let me train you, or let me do it for you. I would just really caution you against that, because like I say, This is an unregulated industry. And if you just put on your logical hat for a minute and just the analytical logical hat for a second and think to yourself, if you were a criminal, or where do you think a criminal would want to, be? Where would they want to go? Where do they have the best chance of making the most money? And this is a huge spot, because people are afraid of missing out. First of all, they know there's a huge opportunity in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrencies, maybe don't know anything about it or how to actually invest, but they're afraid of missing out. So they're a little bit desperate and a little bit, really wanting to get their fingers into something. Those guys can sense that. And here they are in a place where there's basically no ramifications to them for conning you out of it's buyer beware, right? And where would you go? They're all in here. I'm telling you, they're in the Discord channels, they're in the Telegraph, they're on the Twitter feed, they're all everywhere, and they're doing videos out here, trying to teach you and bring you into their web. And I just would encourage you, something like this, like the plan with Dan Hollings. The reason I like it so much is because it's just a pure training program that gives you the skill and gives you the ability to do this for the rest of your life for yourself. You can do it. You don't need somebody else to do it for you. And I really don't care how busy you are. However, that might not sound very empathetic, but really, I'm super busy. I know the plan, the people who've already gone into the plan and members in there, there's some really heavy hitters in there, people who have big companies, people who have big families, people who have little companies, normal lives, but a lot going on. There's nobody who is not at least as busy as you, or probably busier, who's already gone through and done this. So I just wanted to point that out and say to you, if time is an issue for you, if you're thinking, geez, I just don't have the time to go through this training and to do this for myself, then I'd like to suggest that you get real comfortable with not making as good of returns as you could and possibly parting with some of your money, because sooner or later you're going to give it to somebody, because they're going to spin you a great big line about how great they can do for you instead, and you don't have to worry about taking those 15 hours. It's like 2 days. It's one long day for one person who works a lot, right? Or it's not a lot. And I just want to really emphasize that the information in there too, it's not rocket science. It's not that difficult. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to know and learn. And believe me, I think it would take somebody who didn't know anything, wow, a huge amount of time to go through on your own. If you were going to try and, let's say, use band-aids and scotch tape to put it together on your own and just watch tutorials from the service providers and that kind of thing, I know they try hard to put that information out there, but I know also as a business person, stuff like that, you put it out because you have to give that to your customers. But that's not where your emphasis is, or where what you're trying to do. You're trying to maintain that product that you've got and put it out and improve it and create that, not maintain this, tutorial. So they're always lacking, has been my experience. I've not found one, and wow, hundreds probably. I used to have an Amazon private label business. There are hundreds of service providers that I've dealt with for different big and small things. And I've never seen one of the tutorials be everything you need, is what I'm trying to say. So just to sum it up, because I've personally been through the plan, I've seen it and I've actually put it to work, and I know the results firsthand, I can endorse it and I can say this thing works. And from what I can see in crypto, that is the grid bot trading is one of the best approaches that you could take to get some investment capital into the cryptocurrency market. And it's because of the fact that you get to potentially capitalize on both of those ways that you can earn money, which one of them is when you buy low and sell high. That will inevitably happen if you have enough bots going on. You will have one day, you'll close one out higher than you bought it, and you will make a capital gain. That will definitely happen. But the second way, which is the best way, and the preferable, the most preferable way to earn is in those daily bot profits. And that's just the nice, steady, day after day, time after time, income that's rolling in whenever your bot is in range. Whenever it's between those grid lines, you are good to go. You're going to be getting profit off of that thing. It's because that's how it works. So if you think of your grid line as just this is the playing field, and the screen behind it, the price is going all over the place, and you're going to be in that playing field some of the time. Hopefully it's most of the time. And with what I've seen so far, it is. And the reason why, what I can say, is Dan Hollings, who created the plan, he spent 3 years and $5 million tinkering away on that platform, figuring out, testing, trying different scenarios. Apparently it's more than 10,000 automations that he did over that time to find those perfect settings. So that you can literally just walk in, throw the bot together, put the settings on, and walk away, without having to have all that time and energy tweaking it constantly to come back and wonder, how can I make this better, or is this as good as it gets? Is this set up optimally? And that's what those settings do for you, is it lets you be able to just set it and walk away, knowing that these settings are the prime settings you could possibly use for your long-term overall profits. So that's what I like about it so much. And that's why I wanted to make sure and spend a good chunk of time explaining it to you, so that you know that that is something that is an option for you. Like I say, the doors are not open 24/7. They are only open a couple times a year. And I do have a relationship with them. I do promote that program as well. And I will be putting links below this video to let anybody know when the doors are open, so that you can be notified. If you want, you can join my wait list, and I'll let you know, because it's well worth your while to look at something like that. So yeah, and what I want to touch on more, and we'll get into it in the next session and in part 4, is how to stay safe out there in crypto land, because I've touched on a few points. I know I've probably gone a little overboard with don't turn your money over to people because they're probably going to scam you. That's number one. But there's a whole bunch of other things, a whole bunch of other tips that you need to have that are easy little things you can do to keep yourself safe, so that you're not going to be potentially at the whim of, viruses or phishers or email scams. Like, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can be on the alert for and protect yourself against in the beginning, so that you don't end up on the wrong end of one of those. And yeah, I wanted to make a point of going through that with you. So the next video, that's what I'm going to do. And this will be one that is probably going, if you're going to do anything in crypto, it's going to save you money, because hopefully it'll be a mistake that you don't have to make, right? Which is the whole point of taking a training program as well, is that you don't have to pay your dues in learning the lesson the hard way. You can just, learn from somebody else who's already spent all that money and wasted all that time. Well, it's not a waste, but yeah. Let them do the hard work. That's what I say. So yeah, on that note, I will wrap it up for today and say, once again, thank you again so much for tuning in. I'm looking forward to delivering these last 2 sessions to you, and wrapping up this 5-part mini series on how to invest in crypto for beginners. And yeah, if you liked this video, you like the content of this video, please like it. And go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because if you do that, YouTube will notify you anytime I make an update or add a new video, so that you won't miss anything. Because there's lots of little bonuses that I've been able to do videos about that are just great little tidbits that you might miss if you're not in my loop. So go ahead and subscribe anyway, and I will look forward to seeing you again for the next video, number 4. So thanks very much, everybody. Take care.